Hi, my name is Leah, and I did not go to college. If you clicked on this video, you're probably watching it for one of 4 reasons. 1, you know me and you just want to watch another video of mine. 2, you know a little bit about me, but you want to know more about my story. 3, you're deciding if you really want to go to college. And 4, you're in college and you want to drop out. Now I'm here to tell you this video is not going to make that decision for you, but I just wanted to share my personal experience and why it was probably the best decision of my life. Growing up, I was not a super social kid. I'm a pretty shy person, but over the years I gained a lot of confidence, especially through my business of just being able to talk to other people. I did sports like gymnastics. I also was involved in theater growing up, lots of singing and acting. I'm a very creative person, so art projects were always my favorite part of the class time. I enjoyed things like Legos and building Connects roller coasters. Making things was just something I was super passionate about. I always had some type of camera. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to be that influencer, the 2010 girls like on YouTube. That was like my dream. Now I had my specific friend groups in each of my different activities I was involved in, and they were always just super close to me, and I never had a big friend group where I felt like I didn't know someone personally. If you can't tell by my channel and what I do now, I am a very creative, artistic person that is always looking to learn new things and find new passions. But for me, that made it incredibly hard for me to figure out what I wanted to major in college and just what I wanted to do with my life. I took personality tests, I took career tests, all of these different things. Even my parents tried to help me figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And for me, it just never came easy. I'm someone who goes from one thing to the next every single week. It's always changing. My passion for something will be great for a month and then it'll burn out, and then I'll find another passion for another month, and it's just an ongoing cycle repeating. And when someone has you take a career test that tells you your results are that you're never going to be happy in one field, it's a bit concerning. As I kept reading all of the different majors in every single school, I just never felt like I found the one that I wanted, but at that point I didn't even know what I wanted. So when it came to trying to figure out a major, things like building Legos and Connects roller coasters thought me over to the mechanical engineering side, but my artistic and camera love also pulled me in that direction as well. After deciding that my creative mind would be happy in something like film, I decided to look into that as my first major option. I never saw myself as a full-fledged engineer. I just like creating things and being a small inventor. After looking more into the film major at different universities, I thought that that was it. I was like, okay, it's something that I like, but I was interested in it and thought it's a start. I also looked at a couple different art schools that I did end up applying to, and they had photography and pretty much obviously all the different arts you can think of. I graduated high school in 2020, COVID year, which meant that a bus coming to my house handing me my diploma wasn't really my idea of a graduation. But let's take it back a step to the application process. The amount of stress that I felt during that entire process of junior year to senior year in the fall was just like no other stress I had ever felt. While there were people around me applying to their dream schools, knowing exactly what they wanted to major in, I was stuck feeling so confused about what I wanted to do. My parents would ask me multiple times if college was something I actually wanted to go to, but I never thought about the fact that I would actually not go. I think in that moment I was trying to do what everyone else around me was doing. I always thought college was just the next thing out of high school, and I never really could picture myself where. I kind of just went on these college tours and never really felt like home. Every time I visited a new college, I was kind of waiting for that feeling of being like, yes, this is it. This is where I'm gonna live. This is the place I want to be. And I honestly never got that feeling on any of them. It's super confusing figuring out what you want to do with your life, but also figuring out what you want to do for the next 4 years is just a lot of pressure on a high school senior. After sending in all of my applications to about 5 different schools, including a couple local art schools and then more just normal state schools, everything was fine and there was a lot of stress off my back. After the acceptances started coming in, I was just kind of like, yay, thank you. I never had, like looking back on it now, I didn't have the excitement that so many other people have when they get that acceptance. At the time, it was kind of just another, yay, I'm glad I got in, but I don't know what to do still. And now looking back, I can see that it was more just myself being like, is this really what I want? After getting accepted into the last college that I applied for, which was UC, all of my friends got in as well, and it just seemed like that's the place to go. Now for UC, I decided to apply with a fine arts major, which meant I would do every single art form, and photography would be the last thing I would get to do. But in my mind, my friends were going to that school, it was close to home, and I would have a community around me. But I gotta tell you right now, if that's the only thing you're going for and you're paying that much money for it, you might want to rethink. After I decided to accept my acceptance into UC, I was heading there, starting to find my roommates, and get everything together. After a lot of contemplating and going through a lot of things that summer, I decided that college maybe wasn't the best route for me. I sent in my resignation in the summer of 2020, which basically meant I never went to any classes or anything like that. So after making the terrifying decision of sending in my resignation, I was like, what do I do? I decided to start setting up some shoots with friends, family members, literally anyone to start just getting my profile out there. After doing more fun shoots for myself to just gain credibility for my own confidence, I created a website, logo, and started my branding process. Something I want to encourage you if you are watching this video because you're not sure whether you should go is definitely listening to different people's experiences. Now, I'm just going to tell you now, it definitely depends what field you're going into. Obviously, you can't become a doctor if you don't go to college. If you don't know anything about me and you're super confused as to what I'm doing now, I am currently running my own photography business. As I've gained friends in the photo community over the years, I've loved listening to people's different stories about college and what they thought of it because surprisingly, a lot of them said they shouldn't have gone. Some of them were people that had a completely different major and then decided to switch to photography, and now they're doing that full time and running amazing, successful businesses. Hearing other photographers' experiences really showed me that this was something that wasn't out of the ordinary. You know, a lot of people go to college, but there's also a few that don't. So let's talk about why I wish I did go. There are honestly not many reasons, but I can scramble to find a few. The first one being that community. When you're in college, everyone is close to the same age as you, which means that you're going to find friends a little bit quicker than normal. Being outside of the community circle of college, I feel like I am a lot more friends with people that are not my age, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a bit tougher when people aren't in the same exact stages of life. Number two, credibility. Whenever I've looked at high fashion photographer jobs, I've always seen that a fine arts degree is required, which means in some cases of this field, you may need a degree, which is completely fine. However, after talking to many people about seniors, weddings, any of those kind of things, they really just didn't feel like they actually needed to go. I also wish I'd went so I'd be able to move out. Now, I know what you're thinking, living in your parents' house still. But I see it as a way to save money and also just be able to have my family around, which isn't a bad thing. I also wish I went for the food. I mean, when you go to college, I feel like you really just get to explore new places with your friends. I think my last point is just wishing that I got that college experience, but now thinking of what I do now, I think I like this more than I would have liked the college experience. So now let's talk about why I'm glad I didn't. I think the biggest thing is I wouldn't get to do all of this. I'm currently running my own business all by myself, getting to do seniors, couples, families, and coming up this year, my first 2 weddings. Something I think in the business world and just in college or not in college in general is networking and connections. Now, of course, in college, you're probably going to find more connections, but not always. For me personally, that's meant that I found friends on Instagram that are also photographers that have reached out to me to talk, or I've talked to them. And everyone is always super nice in the community, and it's really nice to be able to build friends who do the same thing. I've also been able to reach out to mentors that are older than me that also have more experience and be able to learn from them and just figure out what they did as well. I think it's nice because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now if I was piled with a ton of classes that I didn't even have an interest in. I'm so glad I didn't go because I wouldn't have the time to be able to shoot with a local magazine. I started shooting with Venue this year and I am having such a fun time. I've gotten to meet so many new people and I just wouldn't have been able to do that if I went to school. So, why was not going to college the best decision I ever made? Well, I kind of just explained it. I wouldn't get to do what I do, and it's the most rewarding and fun job probably in the world. I get to make videos in my room on my off days like this one. I get to go on incredible shoots with corporate companies, meet them, and find out all of their stories. I get to work with seniors who have never seen themselves in front of a camera, who get their first picture back and go, how is that me? I get to build up people's confidences all the time when I show them that first picture on the back of my camera. I get to capture laughter, which is just so infectious and it always makes me laugh during shoots. I get to talk to people, hear about their stories, and we can literally talk about anything on their shoot, whether it's good or bad. I get to capture couples' love and they just get to come and have an amazing fun time and you can see it through the pictures. And now coming up with weddings, I'm gonna get to capture someone's most important days of their lives. I get to build my own brand myself, be my own boss woman, and I am a CEO. I get to watch my company grow each year. I get to watch God's plan and purpose for me unfold right in front of me. I get to travel to amazing locations and take gorgeous photos. I get to create. And that's one of the most important things. If you're watching this video trying to decide if you should go to college, should you? I'm not going to make that decision for you. I'm not here to tell you whether you should or you shouldn't. I'm here to tell you what my experiences was. To anyone who's watching this right now thinking, she does not have a real education, you're completely right. But what I do have is a willingness to want to learn. I think something I have seen a lot is that when people go to college, they're obviously being told what courses to take, how they're supposed to learn, what they're supposed to learn, and for me, I get to do that myself. I'm eager to learn when I'm passionate about something. That means I'm going to find courses for the things that I actually want to learn about. I'm currently in Lost Creator Academy, which is an amazing course by Lost LeBlanc, who is helping other creators figure out how to make a living traveling the world and being a photographer and videographer. I've already learned so much and I'm currently almost halfway through the course and so far it's been amazing. You know what the best part is? I don't wake up every day thinking, now I have to go learn about. I'm excited to go and learn more about this concept. Hopefully you've learned a bit about more of my story and why I decided not to go. If you're struggling, please know that I feel for you because I was in the same exact spot 2 years ago. If you are not happy in college and you feel like everything you do is just not leading you towards the goal of what you want to do in life, or maybe you don't know what you want to do in life, but if you're paying that much money for people to be teaching you, you should want to be there. I do also want to mention, I know not everyone's family is going to be supportive with the decision of not going to college if that's something you're contemplating. Thankfully, I had super supportive parents who were always questioning me and just making sure that that was what I wanted to do. And if they hadn't supported me, I seriously don't know how I'd be here. Their constant love and support for my business and just watching it grow and always saying something, complimenting everything, it really just makes me feel confident in myself, in my business, and they're definitely a big part of why I'm here today. I hope this video showed you a little bit more insight of why I decided not to go to school. It is a very big decision for people, as it was for me. It's terrifying, but looking back now, I'm so glad that I didn't go because I wouldn't be able to be here talking to you in front of this camera, telling you my experience with it, maybe helping someone else out there who's just struggling with it, and just getting to do the most amazing job in the world, which is capture memories in a camera. It's definitely something I never saw would actually be successful. And now getting to see that it is, it's just more reassurance from me that God's plan was always the perfect one all along and that I just needed to trust it. Thank you so much for watching Why I Am a College Dropout. I hope it helped you, and if you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Comment down below any video suggestions. I'm going to be posting every Friday, weekly videos, and I am so excited to get to that consistent posting. If you want to head over to my photography Instagram, I'll put the handle right down here, as well as my personal one. You're welcome to check both of those out. Thank you so much for watching my video, and don't be afraid to dream big.